Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay, let's give it we have about 4 minutes to go. If you could just do the last tweet to get people to join in. We're live on Twitter, on YouTube and Facebook right now.
All right, no problem. Let me quickly.
Okay. Okay. So how's your Sunday going? How's your weekend going?
My weekend is going all right. I mean, it was pretty fast. It was faster than usual to me.
Okay. I know I told you remind me of Lagbaja. Are you going to show us your face at some point or no?
Well, if I show my face, then it kind of like defeats the purpose now.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay,
But yeah, eventually, people will eventually see my face. That's the
it's really cool. I like it.
thank you. So, how is Akara Africa? Like, what's the main goal of what they're trying to achieve with this?
Okay, so Akara Africa is a community where African creatives can shop freely and authentically as themselves to create pieces that represent our diverse cultures, and support each other through mentorship and learning to tap into the vast opportunities that the blockchain space provides. So, we'll be working with a lot of African artists, promoting African artists, basically tapping into the opportunities that exists in the blockchain space, and NFTs is one of them. That's why we're having this conversation today to talk about NFTs. A lot of people have heard about NFTs, but they don't even know what NFTs are, So, and you have that experience, so we just felt okay, come by and share some knowledge and your experience with us today.
Okay, all right. No, definitely, definitely, because
Yes.
that's one of the things that I actually like realized that we're trying to like put together a small community like the Nigerian NFT community that's actually geared towards enlightening and sharing more info and demystifying NFTs, for lack of a better term, right? Because there's this whole rave about it. People are trying to get in. People are still skeptical because it sounds too good to be true and all that. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, that I mean that's a very awesome initiative. And also bringing in artists as well because I know most artists we struggle with promoting ourselves, finding each other and all that. So yeah, I really think I vibe with what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we are live. It's 6:30, and we're just going to dive right in. Try and keep the session to 30 minutes. So let's just get in. Why is there a buzz? Why people going crazy about NFTs right now? If you could just share like your experience, why is there that buzz? I know a lot of people. I work with some African artists, and I see them trying to, create NFTs. There's that buzz, everybody wants to own an NFT. We see the news on how much people are making or selling
Yeah.
NFTs. So why is that buzz right now? Why are people going crazy about it?
Okay, so personally, I think it's mainly because of the sales, the amount of money that people here can be made. You understand? Money is a very good motivator. So obviously, most people coming in came in with the mindset of, oh, this is potentially how much I can make from it, right? And I mean, it's all good and fine. We all need to make money. We all need to be sustained. I think another uh, reason for the buzz, right, is the fact that it's digital arts that kind of like paved the way for NFTs. And there's this trope, starving artists, right? And starving artists because artists from time have been taken advantage of, uh, either based on, because of what they know or what they don't know, right? And this also now seems like an avenue for artists to kind of like um get to a more level playing field than where we've been playing before. So now it's global, right? We're being more exposed. So of course it moves, the information moves faster, and there's that excitement. It's new technology. So I don't know if you've gotten like a new phone or a new device, and the first 2 days you're just like, oh, this is my baby, you're so excited and everything, right? So
Yeah.
that's really what's going on right now. New technology, the amount of money that uh, is promised, or the amount of money that can be made, and then also the fact that it is a playing field for artists to express themselves and actually get what they are worth. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons for the buzz. Um,
Yeah.
I think one last reason is the pandemic. So the pandemic has rendered us uh, indoors. It has kept us indoors for such a long time, and some people are like, we had to get used to that, right? Some
Yeah.
people are still indoors operating, and that's kind of like a breeding ground for introverts. So now it's like there's almost no need for most people to come out, besides, oh, they just want to quickly see someone, or they want to get something from the store or something, right?
Yeah.
We live most of our lives um online, right? Most of the things we do right now is online. So I think because of that technology as well, and because of the pandemic that kind of like facilitated this movement, I think that's one of the reasons for the buzz as well.
Yeah. Right. That's interesting to know. So, how lucrative is it? Okay, I think you've touched on that. There's a huge potential, but if you could just dive more into how lucrative it is right now and how lucrative it can be or it would be, in the near future.
Okay, so personally, for me, it has been very lucrative. Um, I've been able to make a reasonable amount of money, right? And not just a reasonable amount of money, but a reasonable amount of money that kind of matches the amount of effort that I've put in. Of course, there's still going to be some gaps because I'm still an upcoming artist in quotes, right? So for those that are even already established and they kind of come into the space, they already have their community behind them, and they have that reputation um going for them. It becomes even a hyper jump for such people. For people getting in, like new people, right? It's
Yeah.
it's a reasonable amount of money based on the amount of time you spend. Although as artists, and because the space is an emergent space, right, you still have to market and do some other things by yourself, which again might be tasking depending on how you look
Yeah.
at it. However, in the future, I feel it's going to be far more lucrative than it already is, because big players, big names are coming into the space. Meta,
Yeah.
Adidas, Nike, the Nikes, Microsoft, they're going to be coming into the space, or they're already, into the space,
Yeah, they're
and
getting ready.
exactly, and it's going to like expand and become um, more useful and more lucrative for those of us that are already in, and those of us that are about to get in. So yeah.
Yeah. So when you're talking about how lucrative it was or it is, you said marketing, it depends on how you market. And that brings me to the next question, which is what do you think having a community backing would do for an artist getting into the NFT space? So I know some artists just, dive right in, they create their art, they mint it
Yeah.
on OpenSea. So What do you think having a community backing would do for an artist? Do you feel like, oh, it's better to go solo or have that community backing? What's your take on that?
Um, Definitely, it is. It is always better to have a community behind you. Definitely. So, getting into the space last year, I got in by virtue of my brothers, uh, Beaver One and Nine Green Rats. They introduced me to the space, and we were just, you know, kind of in lost shores. We're all looking around, we're navigating, and it was hard. It was really tough. Um, but eventually, down the last quarter of the year, I started finding more Nigerians in the space, more Africans in the space. And it's not a coincidence. I started making more sales. Now, community is basically a fancy, um, it's a fancy way of saying you have people looking out for you when you're not there, and the need for a community cannot be emphasized enough. The need for a genuine group of people, right, that care about you, and they would look after you, or they would look out for you when you're not there, because again, it's online. You can't be online 24/7. I know of a lot of people that uh, they take breaks, right? And it could make a retweet, a repost, a retweet, a mention could be the difference between making a sale and not making a sale, or between um, getting an endorsement and not getting an endorsement. And you can't be online all the time. Uh, it's not human per se, right? Right now, I'm not
Yeah.
on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, and someone possibly would be sharing my work. When someone else is not online, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen this person in a while, or oh, this person has been pushing their work, right? I go and I look for this stuff and I retweet. I re-mention, I tag them, I tag someone else. So the need for community cannot be overemphasized. And going solo is it's possible. People do get away with it, but eventually, um, if you want to go fast, you go alone, and if you want to go far, you go together.
Oh my God, I love that last line. Go far, go together. Yeah. So definitely, artists, you're encouraging artists to, work with a community for, you know, being in the NFT space. So that's a gem right there. We have some comments from YouTube. Someone said non-fungible tokens or NFTs are becoming some of the most profitable blockchain-based experiments in history. Remember, it's still an experiment, yes, and it's very lucrative too. From
Hmm.
Stanley. Yeah, someone also said, "Go far, go together." That last line is gold. Okay, so back to the questions. So, you've sold some NFTs, right? How much have
Yeah.
you made so far selling NFTs? If you could just give
Um,
a figure, or how has
uh,
it been? Just share your
okay.
experience. Or yeah,
Because of course, I'm masked, so somebody cannot come and carry me on the street. But I've made quite a reasonable amount of money. I've made upwards of ₦1 million um, on one particular collection. I've put out three collections. On one particular collection, I've made upwards of ₦1 million. But uh, there are different ways in making money and selling NFTs. So selling your own personal collection is one avenue to make money, and selling other people's collections. So, for example, you can buy someone else's work, and if the price appreciates or the demand for it appreciates, right, you can sell it at a higher price. And that's also part of the gains that you make. That's also part of the profits that you make selling NFTs. So yeah, to give a round figure, to give an estimate, I would say upwards of a 1 million naira, just so that just so that people don't look for me on the streets, the streets of Lagos. But yeah,
Can you hear me? Hello?
are you still there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, we have some questions from YouTube. Someone said, is it still an experiment? I also have another question. Can I give three questions while you just answer them at a go? Another question
Okay.
is, are there fears that NFTs are a pump and dump scheme? Another related question. People say the whole NFT thing is a scam. Some people say you are buying nothing. What is your argument against this? So,
Um. Okay. Let me run it back to the first question. The first
okay.
question is it still an experiment though? And I'm guessing the person is kind of like countering Stanley's previous concern. Um, I don't know. I can't say it's an experiment. If it is, then it is a very interesting experiment, so to say. Um, but I do not think it is an experiment. I think it is. I think it is the emergence of a new technology and the emergence of a new era. This personally, I believe that this technology um, is revolutionary. I know that most people are used to something. They're used to like a certain way of doing things, and then when something kind of threatens that status quo, right? It's a little hard to accept that this is what is going on, and yeah, that would lead me into the next question. Are NFTs what a pump and dump scheme? I think that was the next question. Yeah, are there
Okay.
fears that NFTs are a pump and dump scheme? Yes, yes, these fears are very, very valid and they are alive. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh no, there's nothing like that. Nah, there's definitely that. Um, Again, we shouldn't forget that we're dealing with people, and people will be people. Uh, we have companies. I'll give an example. We have companies in real life, right? That they come up as a front. They they are tangible. Like you can visit the company. You can check out what they're doing, right? It seems like they're legit, and then all of a sudden you hear some scandal that, oh, the company folded up and that's the end. Someone made away with millions and billions of nairas or dollar, right? And that's the end of the company. You don't hear from them. You don't hear from the founder. That's a pump and dump. That's literally a pump and dump. And again, because you're still dealing with people, those type of people are going to come in to take advantage of this new technology and to take advantage of this new space. Um, Most NFTs, right? Most collections, collectibles, and all that. There's this prominent guy, Gary V. He says it all the time that most of these NFTs are not going to have value in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years to come. And that is true because, again, as we are experiencing this emergence, we're trying to, adapt, we're trying to adjust, we're trying to understand as we go along, right? And of course, there will be some malevolent people that would want to take advantage and hurt other people. But at the same
Yeah.
time, you cannot throw the baby away with the bathwater by saying, "Oh, there's the bad aspect of this, so don't touch it." Nah, it doesn't work like that. So, um, yeah, and I think that would land me at the last question.
Yeah.
Let's see.
People
People say
say
they
the
want.
whole thing is a scam. Some people say you're buying nothing. What is your argument against this?
Okay. As I explained before, uh, because it's a new technology, people are still trying to understand it. And to someone that's not as tech savvy, explaining NFTs to them is weird. So I will try my best to use my profession, right, to explain it or to link it to something people are kind of used to. So, um, I work in advertising, right, and I'm an art director. Um, we create like so creating we create billboards, banners, or billboard designs, banner designs, and the likes, right? Those things, the designs that you see on your billboard, right? The designs that you see on your bill, they were created by someone. Um, that is digital art. It has value in that regard, right? So now we're moving it into a more creative field, a more personal thing where, as opposed to your traditional artwork or your traditional artist that creates using a paintbrush and a canvas and you can hang it on the wall, this time it is uh, something that you can actively purchase online. It has a record of ownership on the blockchain, right? Which means that there is proof that you own that piece, right? And finally, if the value increases, if the value increases, you can actively cash out or sell that image or sell that item that has been bought as an NFT. Now, this is just the the digital art aspect of it. NFTs can be used for so much more. NFTs can be used in such a way that I can create a token and you can purchase this token online, and maybe I'm having an event, right? And this token kind of allows you, maybe when you come in, you get like you scan your wallet or whatever, and they're like, oh, you purchased this token before, you have access. That's an application for NFTs that would be used in the possible future. You can, it's possible that airlines might even get into NFTs, and that might be another way of buying your ticket. It could be possible that shoes, clothing, your lawyer, right? To book consultancy or to book a consultant, you might need to get a token that you would turn in, and it might be a one-time token or a one-time fee or whatever, and you just turn it in and be like, okay, I want to use your service, right? As an NFT, I've gotten this NFT in 2015 or whenever you got it, and now I want to use it for your service. It could be used in that regard. What we're seeing right now is just the buzz, is just the scramble for the understanding of that technology. So NFTs can be so much more than selling digital arts and all that. So um yeah, I hope I've been able to respond to the question.
Yes.
Eh,
Yeah. So one last question from Daniel McKeans. What do you think are the risks involved in starting a collection of NFTs art?
okay, there are quite a number of risks. Um, I will start with the one that most people might not admit. First of all, you might not make a sale. You might not sell, right? You might not sell immediately. That's one. And you might not sell in a long while. You might not sell for like 6 months. It's not a guarantee that when you create an NFT, you would sell because you've created an NFT. So I think most people don't look at that risk. Another risk involved is that you're actually using um, money. You're using money to put your stuff up. It's like, again, it's like selling your stuff in the marketplace, right? You're actually using funds to put this thing up. So there's also risk involved because you're using real life money to pursue a goal in hopes that um, you'd get something back. Another risk involved with NFTs is that there are security risks. Again, there will be hackers because it's digital, right? So your wallet can be hacked if it is not, if you do not take necessary safety precautions, such as, being careful not to click on links, not to interact with, shady people that you are not sure of, right? Not to give away sensitive information such as their seed phrases, log into sketchy sites, things like that. Basic cyber security. Those are risks involved. And while trading NFTs, you can lose money because again, not all projects would be viable. So you can see cases where you'd spend a whole lot of money on getting into a project, and at the end of the day, the project doesn't do well. It's akin to buying stocks, right, or buying land somewhere in hopes that land would appreciate, and it doesn't, right? So these risks still exist in the NFT space.
Okay. Okay, so that's all the questions we have. We're almost done. Thank you so much for joining the live today. I did not give a proper introduction at the beginning, so I'll just get into it. So, Kel Savage is an artist who, sorry, Kel Savage is a digital multidisciplinary creator who creates art based on African influences and aims to translate them into VR and AR. And we've enjoyed your session for the past, I think, 30 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have more questions for Kel Savage, just join our Discord channel and drop your questions there. Here's a link to the Discord. You can also follow us on Instagram at Akara for Africa, Twitter at Akara for Africa. You can also follow Kel Savage on Instagram at Kel. Let me just pop that up right there.
Yeah, it was actually very nice being here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And
Thank
yeah,
you.
if you're watching, feel free to, reach out, say hi. Um, yeah, and if there are discussions that you want to have, or if there's like something that you want to talk about regarding NFTs, I'm not an expert, but the little that I know, I am always open to sharing. So yeah, I think I'll just
Thank
share
you
that.
very much. Yes. Thank you very much. We'll draw it to a close here.
Africa has a story, and we're here.
Thank you.
Africa has a story, and we're here to tell it. This is Akara, the blockchain community of African creators, preserving our past and protecting our present. We are carving out a space on the blockchain playground for African diversity and creativity. Join the community